What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? This is another Wing Productions video, and I am your host, Luthien. And today I am bringing you my review of Dishonored, which is the latest game from Arkane Studios that has been published by Bethesda Softworks. And what is Dishonored? Well, Dishonored is this sneaky stealth game with some, like some magic abilities and some grenades and some gadgets in there, so that's all good. But my overall impressions of the game are actually really good. They're really, really good. That's my overall impressions. Um, so let's get down to it. We'll stuff this into different categories. So let's start talking about the graphics and performance of this game. Let's start with the performance. Well, I actually found the performance really good. The game never dropped below like 60 frames per second for me. While I was frapsing, it dropped down to 30 frames per second. Not games per second, 30 frames per second. But that happens with fraps. But overall, really awesome performance. I actually really enjoyed it. It never really impacted anything, no lag, nothing stopped me from doing what I wanted to do in the game, so that's all good. 10 out of 10 for performance. So for the graphics, look at this game. It's freaking awesome. The graphics are amazing. They actually struck that nice border between realistic and cartoonish, which I really, really enjoyed and I really loved. It delivers what it wants to deliver. I got a quite dark playthrough, but and it really delivered that steampunky, Victorian old city, darkness. I really enjoyed that. It really portrayed a city in chaos very well. It portrayed everything it wanted to portray very well, except some story issues, which I'll go over later. But for the graphics, really good. Awesome environment, awesome lighting effects, just everything was flat out awesome for me. No complaints on the graphics, really. There were some minor texture problems somewhere, but I'm not gonna go stare at a wall just to get the textures out there. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed absolutely everything about it. Um, but yeah, so let's talk about the story. And this is the only place where I have a few problems with the game. So the story was actually really good. It was really awesome. Let's talk about the dark and light thing first. So the story changes mattering how you play. So if you kill a lot of dudes, if you do a lot of bad things, if you're a real asshole, which I choose to be, you get this really dark playthrough and this dark ending, and characters respond to you in different ways, and the characters and the endings and the events are really just oof, they're dark, they're horrible stuff, but I loved it. So the overall story is there's a big rat plague going on in the city that's affecting the city, and there's big nasty rats, like the good old classic plague, eating people up, turning them into zombies, and all that good stuff. And you are the Empress bodyguard. Your name is Corvo, and you're quite the man with the pistol and the sword. But at the beginning of the video game, the Empress is assassinated by some unknown people, and you are framed for her murder. Now, this brings you into a kind of unpleasant situation, and some loyalists pick you up and decide to help you out in your quest to restore your life and your honor. Now, the problem that I have with this is that you don't really care about this Empress. You don't really care about Corvo getting framed for the murder. You don't even care about the daughter getting abducted. Of course, little children getting abducted by people in gas masks that can teleport is of course a bit worrying for every sane person, but you don't really care from a story perspective about the people that are involved in this from the beginning. Since you have no background, you don't know this lady, you don't know this girl, you don't know yourself or anything, you don't know the world, you don't know a single character, so why should you care about her getting killed? She's just another casualty. But it's like, alright, I'll go after this bad guy and kill him since the objective says that. You don't really feel like you want to take revenge on them. But that changes in about 3 missions into the game. You really start caring about the characters, and especially the little girl Emily. You really start caring about her fate, and you start caring about your own fate. But you really hate these people you go after at the end. You really don't like them. Yeah, it's really awesome actually. A really great story. It for a video game to summon that emotion in me. I mean, at the end of this game, by the way, this review is spoiler heavy. By the end of this game, at the dark ending, I was staring at my computer screen and just feeling very bad. And when the world changes, and at the end of the last hour of the game, I just felt like, what the fuck have I done? I'm a sincerely bad person. I shouldn't be allowed to keep living. Maybe I deserve to die. Maybe I'm not rightful of my life even. I felt horrible. You just see it in Emily's eyes. You see it in Samuel the Boatman, who's a really nice character, by the way. Some people complain because he's dull, but that's the charm to him. But you just see the consequences of your actions in some people's eyes and the way some people treat you, and it's quite horrible actually. It's really not nice at all. And just for a game to do that, it takes a lot for a video game to just make me feel bad. Takes a lot for a video game. I mean, there's not even a lot of movies that summon that sort of emotion within me. Um, so yeah, really nice achievement there by Arkane Studios to make me feel that way. And really, I play games for their story, and if there's some nitpicky parts about the gameplay that's not really up to par with the rest of the presentation, I don't care, because if it's a good story, I'll be right in there, and I'll chew on it, and I'll love it. Love every single part about it. The story is amazing. I'll say that right now. For the story, this is my game of the year of 2012. This is amazing, except for the few nitpicky parts in the beginning. The gameplay is fantastic. The presentation of the city is amazing. The voice acting also, it's outstanding. You know what I mean? These characters, some guys like this guy right here, he's a fucking asshole. I hate him. But he's still amazing. Every guy, every evil dude is just awful. But you hate them, and you feel compassion with characters, you understand characters, and there's some characters you're a bit uneasy about, you don't really know what's up with them. I mean, in video games lately, I didn't play Far Cry 3, but video games lately, I haven't felt this emotion in a game since I don't know when. I mean, but what about Skyrim? Well, that story, sorry, but it sucked. It was epic. Skyrim is epic, that's the word, but it's not emotional. You don't care about the characters. You don't care about the world. You don't care about anyone. I know in this game, when the zombies started coming and the rats were everywhere, I was like, God, this is a really horrible place. And the ending is just, it just wasn't like a knife to my heart. Actually, it's really horrible. And I'm right now starting a second playthrough, Non-Lethal, just to see what it's like, So that would be, so yeah, story, awesome, perfect. But that would be a good way to talk about the gameplay. So there is two ways to play this, as I've said. There's a lethal and a non-lethal. You can actually complete the entire game without killing a single dude. And that's awesome. That's really hard, but you can do it, and there's an achievement. So go after it, you crazy gamers out there. So yeah, that will give you, doing a more non-lethal approach to the game will give you a nicer outcome, It will, it will be a more pleasant place to live, the city of Dunwall. Less rats, less zombies, less guards, less dark stuff, More of a happier ending too, I suppose. I wouldn't know, but I'll love to play through it to find it out. But if you're like me and you're really lazy and you don't want to sneak around necessarily and, choke people, you just stab them in the neck, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. But that's really one of the parts where I'm feeling like it's a bit of a letdown. If you're giving that opportunity to do a non-lethal approach, the most interesting ways of taking guys out are lethally. That's providing the most interesting gameplay, because there's really only one way to do like normal guards non-lethally. There are some choices in the bosses or the targets, how you do them non-lethally. There's some variety there, of course, but in the normal like everyday dudes, you just sneak up behind them and choke them and drag their bodies away. That's like all you can do in the non-lethal part. So that's a big complaint for me, is that the darker ending is the most interesting way to go from a gameplay perspective, because stabbing people in the back in games are awesome, and shooting people in the face with guns are awesome, and taking people out with sleep darts is not that awesome. Of course, some people get a kick of being like the guy in the shadows. I'm a sneaky rogue assassin. But I really enjoyed a more stabby approach. Let's just leave it at that. And I think a lot of people will, since it's the most compelling gameplay. It's the most varied gameplay, and yeah. So that's one of the complaints on the gameplay. Now, let's get into how the gameplay actually works. You have a sword, and you have a secondary weapon slot, which you can put. You can put a crossbow with sleep darts and other darts and stuff like that. You can put grenades. You can put like little mines, spring trap mines, and you also have different magics. Now, these magics are provided by a quite non-interesting character in the game, but he's kind of important. I guess he only like shows up 2 times, but yeah. The and he provides some magics for you. Those magics are the ones I used were blink, possession, dark vision, and slow time or bend time. And there's also some passives like vitality and sneakiness and endurance and yeah, all that good stuff, all those nice RPG passives. But the active abilities are really awesome, and that also is another thing. You like choose how you attack situations, or there's like this big mansion which you have to get into. There are like probably 10 different ways how to get in there. There's not several non-lethal ways and several lethal ways to get in there, and it's really awesome to have that variety. I've never seen such a variety in a video game in a long time. In the matter of choices which you can approach a situation. It's really, really good actually. Some great level design. It's short, intense, and awesome. That's how I would describe it. And there are some situations where just non-lethal is like it's impossible. If you get discovered by guys and they're coming right at you, you'll have to kill them if you want to live. Of course, you can reload a later saved game if you want to do a total non-lethal playthrough, but you're really fucked if they find out who you are. Um, some nice variety in the missions also, which I really quite enjoyed, and just the different types you can, in the different ways you can like approach missions is like one of the best parts of the game I feel, and the way that you get to utilize your abilities and all that, they really come into play. And some abilities I haven't even used, and I'm looking forward to using them in my other playthroughs. So maybe more Dishonored videos to come. I don't know, but let's get back to the review at hand. So yeah, gameplay-wise, a bit nitpicky with the lethal non-lethal way, which the lethal way is really the more interesting way to play it. But that's just I guess what you wind up with. Um, so yeah, what else is there really to say? The voice acting is outstanding. The music, which I'm playing a bit in the background for you right now, is also really, really outstanding and really great, and I really loved it. Um, the presentation and everything is really awesome. The city is just delivered in a really good way. The setting is delivered in an awesome way. The story, by the last maybe 2.5 hours of the game, is really intense, and I really enjoy those hours. Those are the best hours, I think. And there's like, I get a huge kick of like climbing on rooftops and getting around people and like killing them. I did that too. I mean, I didn't do like unnecessary violence. In Okay, there's one exception. There was this party mansion thingy that had to go out and smoke out what like one character, and I just killed all the guests in the party. I couldn't be bothered to like find out which one she was. I just kill them all. Fuck it. I'll just do it. And yeah, that could have contributed to my like high chaos rating, I suppose. So yeah, this has been my review of Dishonored. So what score does Dishonored get from Eluthian? It's a 9 out of 10, and the only problem that brings it down from being a perfect 10 is the lack of good variety between the lethal and non-lethal takedowns, and some nitpicky things with the story that you don't really care about the characters as much as you should in the beginning of the game. That's kind of hard to sell on though, because it's the beginning of the game. But why should I go after these guys? It gets more established later in the game, but yeah, still awesome game. 9 out of 10 for me. You have to go buy this. It's cheap on Steam. Get it, and your life will be better for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my review of Dishonored. If you like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!